Greetings, golfers, from the sun-drenched shores of Chesterfield Golf Club. Today we're outside and we're going to talk about hitting off different slopes, upslope, downslope and side hill lies. I hear a lot from people, I don't know how to play it, what should I do? How do I do it? What do I do if it's up or down or da-da-da? So we're going to go through each slope with you and I'm going to hit some shots hopefully, and we're going to try and explain how each slope works. Okay, so what we've got here is we've got ball above my feet. As you can see here, bag's quite high, my feet are quite low, this is halfway up. It's a fairly severe slope. The first and overriding thing I'm going to do, regardless of what club I'm going to hit off here, we've not got bad lies here, short grass, is I'm going to try not to fight what the slope's going to do for me. So as you can see, if my club is above me, it's going to sort of flatten off my shoulder plane and my rotation here. Ball being above me will make the ball almost, if you like, follow the slope, if you like, in gravity of that slope. It's always the easiest way to think. The ball will run down the slope, so the ball should curve that way. That means the ball will move from right to left more, simply because I think A, shoulder plane and the club plane is a little flatter, but also B, it's very hard to move forward easily this way, so therefore we tend to be a little bit static, which will always encourage the hands to flip over a little bit more. Therefore it should move from right to left, me being a right-handed player. Now, part of this for me is deciding how much of a slope there is as to whether I need to change my grip or not. And what I mean by that is when I set up here, so this is a 6-iron and I'm trying to hit it down that line, down the line of the trees there. When I set up now and I take my normal grip, it's a smidge, as you can see here, I have to go slightly down. Now I do that more on feel. It's not something like go, oh, it's a foot above, it's an inch down. I just set up, put the club behind the ball where I want it to go, and then I sort of let my natural setup dictate that it's a little bit down the grip there. So what I would do if I was playing this shot now, and I'm about to, I would play the ball slightly further back in my stance. I would say that probably for all of them, because the one thing when we're going up the hill in a minute we're going to talk about, and when we're trying to play the downhill ones, the one thing I don't want to do is hit the ground first. That's going to kill me because it's not going to get the distance there. So if we can take that danger away, that'll be great. So as I stand here now, I play the ball ever so slightly back in my stance. I'm going to start, if I want it to finish on the edge of the range here, I'm going to need to start it almost over the trees there to allow for that shape in the air. I've set the club up and then I've gripped it where it feels comfortable. I'm trying to get my normal posture as best I can. I'm going to try and keep a balanced backswing, and because it's going to hook, normally, although I've gone slightly down the grip, I'm going to say the ball's going to go roughly the same distance. But generally, if you're getting it on that hook shape, you might find that you need to take maybe half a club less, but because I'm going down the grip of that, it'll be fine. I maybe have to take half a club less or less, but because I'm going down that grip, it'll balance itself out. So you can see I'm down the grip, I'm aiming a little right of what I want here. And as you can see there, it creates that roary shape, and we've allowed for that, and now we're in the middle of the range. Happy days, no lost ball. So we're on slope number 2 here, and as you can see, I'm on the upslope. Weight's predominantly on my back foot to keep me balanced. Now, there's 2 ways of doing this again. Number 1, as I said, because I'm going to be upward, the ball is going to hook the same as we talked about the side slope this way. So upslope with me weight back, or ball above me, creates a hook shape. Both of those 2 slopes, you can kind of see, lean me a bit more on my back foot and they allow everything to hook. So what I want to do, there's one of 2 things. It depends on the shot I want to hit and the club I'm hitting. If it's a really severe upslope, I might not want to go with it, because if it's too severe, I'm going to fall over backwards and I'm never going to get back. So I'll probably have to just chuck my weight a little bit more on my front foot, slightly, so I can hold there, and I'm going to play that ball a little bit further back. But if we're going to play a normalish shot, let's say this is just about on the level of the slope, I would almost go with my spine angle slightly on that slope. Now in the backswing, obviously I can't move too far back because we're going to end up down here and then we're never going to get back to the ball. But on the way through, so the shot forward, I'm always going to end up, it's very hard to push yourself humanly up a slope, especially if you've moved any weight backwards. So what we're going to tend to do is find that we're going to be stuck on our back foot a little bit more. And as we're on our back foot, again, as I say, the club's going to release and go left. Now the ball is going to fly higher simply because the launch angle off that slope, unless I'm overly funking it staying forward, which as I say, I'm not going to generally do. So what's going to happen is we need to take more club on an upslope, simply because the launch angle becomes higher. So let's say I've got my 6-iron here, but it's probably going to take off like a 7 or an 8-iron. And if we're into the wind as well, which we are here, it's probably going to take off more like a 9-iron. So I would say When you're on the upslope, you need to be taking at least one more club. It depends how hooky you feel that shot's then going to be when you play it. So that's a bit of playing about with it. But I'm also going to aim myself right of target slightly right of target, ball slightly back in my stance, because I know as I hit it, I'm going to struggle to get forward and the ball's going to take off and it's going to hook. And you can see there, beautiful little, well, you probably can't, but a beautiful little hook there. But it's flown about 300 yards higher than normal. So won't get the same distance as it would have off a normal slope. So lie 3, ball below feet. Now these next two are the scummy two, because balance wise, as a right-handed person, I'm falling forward all the time. So you can see I'm on the edge of the cliff and it's like I don't want to fall forward. My body's stopping me doing that. So as we said earlier, the ball will follow the shape or gravity of the slope. So because I'm falling forward, I'm now going to squat more in my, I suppose, legs, so that I can get the club down to the ball. I don't want to bend over more from the waist, because you can see now I'm really on my toes. So I'm going to bend down more to almost squat more centrally on my feet here. The key with this shot is to try and get balanced. Now the other thing that's going to happen is, because I'm leaning over more and a little lower, the club's going to be steeper in the backswing, whereas the one above is flatter. This one creates a steeper action. Now a steeper action in the backswing means on the way down we're likely to come steeper and more across it. And also, because my weight's falling this way, as you can see, the general natural way that ball is going to go is it's going to move left to right. Now left to right is going to reduce the distance. So partly, I think, because I'm a little bit lower, partly because it's a little bit steeper here, I'm probably going to take one more club, possibly two, but definitely one more club. And then I'm going to allow and swing a little bit easier, because I think if I go too quickly here, I'm going to lose my balance. So what I'm going to say is the ball will move left to right. I'm going to take one more club. The ball's going to be slightly further back in my stance, because again, the one thing that's going to kill me is if I hit that ground first. And I'm going to allow, as you can see here, the slope to move the ball left to right. Okay, slope 4, downhill. So obviously my right side is higher than my left side. So you can see instinctively my brain tips me this way to balance me. Now the one thing that's very hard on this lie, we've got to kind of go with that shot more. So same as like we said with chipping the golf ball, we've got to go ball ground even though it's on the downslope. Now instinct and brain tells me to lean back and help it up in the air. Trouble is, that's not going to help us, because you can see if I set up here, even with my balance correct for this slope, and then lean backwards, we're going to hit too early into that ground. That's the real killer on this slope. Now on the downslope, it's going to go down, and then generally it's going to go right as well, because I'm kind of getting ahead and forward a little bit like the tennis shot. As we said, if we get a little bit ahead of it, club gets a little bit late, it needs to be low and squirty right. Now, if it goes low and squirty right, as you can see here, I'm going to allow for that. So, although I'm probably not going to strike it as cleanly and I'm not able to load up into this side as much as I can, I feel like because I'm sort of down on the way through the shot, I'm almost going to de-loft that club a little bit. And if I'm de-lofting a bit, it's going to get it there, so it'll make up for the fact that I'm not going to strike it as well. Now if it was a bit windy or I needed to carry something, I might take one more club, but the one thing I'm definitely going to do on this lie is I'm definitely going to play the ball back in my stance more than I would normally. So you can feel almost, or you can see almost, you can't feel it, I can feel it, I'm slightly on my front foot here, I'm aiming slightly left of what I want. In the backswing, I'm going to do my best to get up the hill, but realistically I'm going to make sure on the way down I'm going to go with that shot. You can see here I've had to go with the shot. You can hear or see that ball turf. Ball's taken off beautifully, lovely little trajectory. So almost the downslope will negate the fact that you can't hit it as well off that slope. So hopefully that makes sense. If you've got any questions, feel free to DM me. Thanks for watching. Hope it makes sense.